Much. We're continuing to follow that breaking news out of Howard this morning.
You can see the large emergency response there to that house fire. We first came on the air at 4:30 telling you about this. We have Kristen Allen now live at the scene with the very latest. You're talking to investigators out there. Kristen, what are you learning?
That's right. The fire happened on Rockwell Road. That's where we are right now. And it happened actually on the next block over on the 1300 block here behind me. You can see all those flashing lights from fire trucks and other emergency response vehicles. Firefighters say that it happened just after 2:30 this morning. And as of right now, the fire is out, but they are still dealing with some hot spots. They say that when they arrived, the house was on fire. There were flames coming from it. But when I spoke with the fire chief, he says that as of right now, they don't know whether anyone was home or not at the time of the fire. He said that because of the volume of fire when they arrived and the risk of potential collapse, it was just too dangerous to go inside.
There was only a brief entry to the structure. It was after the fire was under control, but the structure itself is severely damaged where there's significant collapse going on. So right now it's not safe enough for firefighters to enter.
The Howard fire chief tells me that they are investigating, trying to figure out if anyone was home during the time when this fire started. They said that they received several calls about this fire before they arrived on scene. And again, they're also investigating, trying to figure out what exactly sparked the fire to begin with. We'll continue to follow the story and first alert you to any updates. Reporting live in Howard, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.